In this session, we're going to explore how we can remix a space to support and adjust by adapting and differentiating for our learners' needs. We're going to learn how we can take a pre-existing prompt, remix it just so we can ensure that our tone, our voice, and whatever else we need to do is in that new space that has already kind of been built with that foundation. When it comes to remixing spaces, we're going to kind of be able to explain why we might remix a space and how we might use this to support student engagement and differentiation. We're also going to identify simple ways to adjust an existing space. Then we're going to practice customizing and saving a remix space that we can use in our classroom. So why might we remix a space? Here's an example of a space that I have created. This is for ED decodable readings. Now, I wanted to create spaces that would support all of these decodable readings for my students. And so in the space, when students launch it, I want them to be able to launch and have the passage ready to go with that decodable reading activity. If we go ahead and we click on this little prompt right here, and I'm going to show you the space. From here in this space, you'll notice that the name and the title's right here. Now, what's really cool about this space is it saved me time. When I wanted to come over and use this space over here for the closed decodable reading, you'll notice that when I hit preview, my students don't get the ED. They get a whole new focus with this rocket contest. And if I hit edit here, what you'll notice is that the title is different. But down below with the AI prompt, I made it so I could rinse and repeat this type of space to work with whatever concept I was working with. Using Remix really helped me as an educator because I was able to save time and all I had to change was the title and the file that was uploaded right here. So think about different ways that you can save time by remixing by having different files added into your space. Once you have those files added and the tile, all I had to do was hit generate all, and I had 2 spaces ready to go for my students to practice these decodable readings. Again, I had a very simple prompt that I was able to rinse and repeat that really focused in on kind of, it's an AI reading tool. Tutor is that role. The job is to load the displayed passage. That is the attachment right here. Then it's going to extract that reading passage from the PDF. Once it does that, students begin the space and it's going to display the passage right away. Then I wanted it to ask comprehension questions throughout and give feedback. Every single space I wanted to follow these different steps for my students to really work on decodables. But I wanted the decodable passages to just be a little bit different. That's where I was able to hit remix, which is right here. And I was able to remix this space, not change the prompt, but change the title and the file that was uploaded. And now I have 2 different spaces that are ready to go and to be used with my students, where this space focuses on ED, while this space over here focuses on the closed decodable. This is a great way to rinse and repeat a space that can save you time as you're learning how can I remix a space and why might I do it. So again, you might want to save time and increase that student relevance. You also might need to come in and maybe you found a space that's for 7th grade level, but you're actually working with 6th graders. You can go in and update, change that grade level, change the time, change maybe some of the requirements that are in that space, upload, attach different resources to inform and recreate and remix a space. And so when we're remixing a space, what we want to do is we want to find the space in a library. So we talked about earlier going into schoolai.com, and once we're here, how the Discover library has tons of resources. So once we click on Spaces, Discover, that space has a ton of different resources where we're able to click on different spaces that educators have created. And from there, we're able to really start to learn about the spaces that other educators are creating. Here's an example of a space that has been created already. This is an SEL check-in for 5th grade students. Maybe I want to remix this space and I want to change the grade level to a 6th grade student. And instead of 3 minutes, I actually have 4 minutes. All I have to do is come in here to the AI prompt And we're able to make those changes that we want to make to help our space maybe take on a different role. Maybe it has different questions aligned in this check-in. Maybe I want to change some of the guidelines. Maybe I'm okay with it asking 2 questions at a time. Or maybe I want to change, that this is going to be under 4 minutes. I also like to use Control F, and I can even type in here a certain number like 3, and I can say, actually, I changed this to 4 minutes. And so I can quickly find those changes that I need to make within my space as well. We talked about having 5th grade students, right? And so right here, I can find all the ways that it says 5th grade and change it to my 6th grade students. I often like to use Command F to quickly find those kind of language, those keywords, and I can quickly find them because it's going to highlight. So right here, if I type in SEL, I can see that SEL is in this space 7 out of 10 times. Then I can quickly find, where do I need to change it? Where do I need to maybe regenerate this so that it shows up for my students? When we're remixing, we're able to think about different ways that we might remix a space. In a space, we might want to add a reflection question, or insert a higher order thinking type of task, or switch the subject. Maybe we found a really cool space that was geared towards ELA, but we teach social studies. Again, I like to come in, find a space that's been already created. Once I find that space, I can click on Remix, and then I can go in, use Command F, find everywhere that it has 6th grade listed, and I can change it to 7th grade or whatever level I need to. I could search for social studies or history or whatever keywords, and then I could switch them out with English. I could also attach additional scaffolds and supports like sentence stems or scaffolds to support my students. We can even add student choice, where in this space for this SEL check-in, students go through each of these questions. I could go in here and say, only give students 2 of the 5 questions, right? I can go in and adjust reading levels, change the tone. I can even add gamification into a space. And so what I want you to do is I want you to choose a space. Choose a space from the library or use my space right here that was this SEL check-in. Change the questions, change how long, change the grade level, change the subject. Any of these activities are up on your screen. Once you remix it, then I want you to apply those changes by clicking on Save. And if you're ready, you're able to save and launch this, and you can save and launch this to your students, where you can again assign this by the learning management system or by a QR code or a link. Go ahead and give it a try and consider this question. What is one way that you can remix a space to better support engagement or differentiation right in your classroom? And we kind of explored why we might remix to save time, to support differentiation, to support student engagement. We also chatted about ways that we're able to identify adjusting an existing space. And now I want you to practice customizing and saving a remix space that you're able to reuse for your classroom.